public. So again, it totally dependent on your experiences, but I did have one cannabis beverage with the nano emulsion that also has caffeine in it naturally from mate. That changed my whole life.
Is that the new coffee?
For me?
I mean, for you, is it the new morning coffee? Cup of coffee?
Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's low caffeine because it's just from mate. It's not, coffee jitters. It's totally chill. It's 5 milligrams. I'm like, oh my God, this is the perfect combination. It's wake and bake in a can. But it's not, it doesn't screw you up too much. So I'm like, I just wrote this piece waxing poetic on it. So I'm all about that right now.
Do you have a lot of products out there that are edibles that are healthy options? Because that's what I've heard a lot of people, they haven't been able to get their hands on. Everyone can just get brownies, cookies, gummies, but they don't seem to be able to get I don't know what they want, infused granola, healthier things.
Yes. Oh, yes. Anything that you can put in your mouth or your butt, they have weed in out here in California. And I have tried it all.
California's fun. Oh my gosh.
No, it's insane. It's like, I was joking with a friend yesterday at a barbecue. I was just like, dude, 3 years ago, none of this stuff even existed. And we just talk about it now. What milligram is that? It's very funny to me. But we do have healthier options. I know Papa and Barkley recently came out with gummies. They're a brand that I really like, very high quality. They just came out with gummies that are solventless and sugarless, which is huge. That's because everything is just loaded with sugar. But, and there are tinctures that we have. Oh, do you guys have the sublingual strips out there?
That's think
different because they're not edibles because they act like tinctures, but the sublingual strips are pretty awesome. And that is a totally zero cal way of getting it's different because it goes right into the bloodstream through your mouth.
Right. So it's different tinctures versus edibles, right? Because edibles are being processed
in your liver.
And the tinctures go through the bloodstream in your gums.
Correct. So technically it's different. If you don't have a great experience on tinctures, that shouldn't necessarily correlate to edible use in any way. So friendly tip for everybody. They're actually not the same, even though they both go in your mouth. But we're getting towards healthier options. It's definitely a big part of the conversation here. People are just I can't be eating these super sugary things as much anymore. So I think we'll continue to see that change. I had shrimp chips the other day, cannabis infused shrimp chips.
Who came up with that?
Potli is the brand, and they make olive oil as well, which is really cool. They also have there's this company that has a Sichuan chili crisp that's infused, which is really cool. Oh yeah, you name it. You can put weed in it.
You can infuse that, baby. Do you think that folks, since we've been at home in the pandemic more, they're starting to do more sort of at-home cooking with weed?
Probably. Honestly, I thought I would be one of those people, and I'm not. It turns out, which is kind of surprising. For me, the problem with cooking with cannabis is that, I love food a lot, and if something's really delicious, I'm gonna want to eat a lot of it, and so I just get hung up on the dosing versus, and I had an edible gummy the other day that was or chocolate. It was a chocolate truffle, and I was I want 10 of these, but I can't have 10 of them. So I think people are getting more curious about it, and I know that a number of cannabis cookbooks have come out in the last couple of years specifically. And so I would imagine that more people are just screwing around with it and trying it at home, but you would have to really want to do it. It's a big undertaking. So I do think that I'm sure some people have ventured into it when they wouldn't have had the time before, but I haven't really seen this explosion in the way that I did wonder that at the beginning. And I'm just kind of thinking stream of consciousness, but I haven't really noticed a huge explosion in it.
I thought that I'd see a lot more interest in people wanting to do infused dinners themselves and just, I don't know, I thought people would get more interested in it. But I think what they got more interested in is trying different products that are already made for them at home while they're sitting at home in the pandemic being bored. I don't think you want to brew your own beer, you want to just go out and buy a 6-pack. But for stoners, for cannabis folk, instead of wanting to cook your own stuff, I think, which is very difficult, it seems like a whole process, I'm just down to try new products. I really, really wish that edibles worked for me. I've tried up to 100 milligrams in a day and I haven't felt a thing, nothing. I have tried a lot of infused things. I've tried infused, the regular gummies and and brownies and whatever, but also infused goldfish crackers, infused tea. I think the weirdest one might have been like infused cereal. I do smoke daily, so you're probably right that there's some sort of issues with my tolerance there.
But I do too, and edibles definitely hit me, so it might just be your body.
Maybe it's a genetic thing and I'll never get over it, but I'm hoping that the good science gods will give me something in the future to get me high edible style. What do you think the future of cannabis edibles looks like? What have you seen in the making right now?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I do think this kind of glut of infusing everything is probably going to level off. Because again, like if I buy a bag of shrimp chips, I want to eat all the shrimp chips. I don't want just one or two. So I do feel like there is a ceiling for infusing everything. And maybe we're just being a little excited about the novelty of it. I think drinkables are definitely here to stay. I think gummies kind of, someone for, was it Eater or Vox on one of those properties did a really lovely piece recently about the rise of gummies and how, basically everybody feels safe taking a gummy because, us like older millennials and Gen Xers, like that was like how you got your nutrients when you were little, right? Like your little Flintstones gummy with vitamins in it. And so gummies are kind of like, oh, this is like sort of medicinal, but it's fun. And so I think that's just like an ingestion method that's always going to be here to stay. And they're going to be huge. Like I just know so many people anecdotally who, I'm 35 and they're like, I don't really want to smoke anymore. It's not really that healthy. It doesn't make me feel good. It makes me feel anxious. And so they, I know a lot of people who just don't smoke, never really smoked, but they are regularly taking edibles now. So I just think it's going to turn into this whole other beast of a cannabis category where it's, part of cannabis, but also separate.
I think also a piece that we haven't quite touched on yet is the medical side of this. A lot of people prefer edibles because they have physical pain or nausea, and edibles really take care of those issues. It's like a lot more of a body high, but if you smoke, I find at least it's more of a head high. So there's just a huge area of the marketplace that really wants to keep buying edibles because of their medical potential.
Yeah, and legalization has kind of fucked them. And am I allowed to say that? Sorry.
Yeah, you can say it.
Okay. And I feel really badly for medical patients, especially in California, which is obviously the market I know the best. Because now there are legal limits on edibles and how many can, not only the THC level, but how much you can have, per piece, but what you can have in one package as well. It has to be 100 milligrams. And like, ask a cancer patient who's taking edibles for cancer pain, and 100 milligrams isn't going to do anything. Like I mentioned before, THC or any cannabinoids build up tolerance really quickly in your body. And so why cancer patients need such high doses at one time is because, again, like their body has just built up that tolerance and that's what they need to feel better. And so it becomes very expensive very quickly to have to buy packages in, 100 milligram increments, whereas before they could just buy 1,000 off the, at that point you're at scale and everything is so much cheaper. So legalization has really limited access for medical patients for edibles. And it is probably in my mind, one of the biggest ignored and like biggest crimes of legalization. I feel badly for them.
Yeah.
And I know that they're very loud. Medical patients are loud and angry about it. And I don't know how it's going to change, unfortunately.
We'll have to keep tracking it. And hopefully in some of your upcoming reporting, we'll see how it changes. You can read more about Jackie's reporting on the science of edibles in our upcoming or our current Different Leaf issue. So Jackie, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. And hopefully we'll get to catch up soon and maybe have some edibles together.
That sounds good to me. Thank you so much.
Do make sure you check out Jackie's wonderful article on the science of edibles in the latest issue of Different Leaf, the magazine. Available now at differentleaf.com and at Barnes & Noble and Books A Million bookstores in all 50 states and in Canada. Check out differentleaf.com to find your nearest store. If you dig what we do, please like, subscribe, and review us wherever you're listening, and follow us on social media at Different Leaf and at Different_Leaf. And I'm at Brit the British. Thanks as always to our wonderful producer, Andrea Maraskin, and thanks to Homebody for the music.